Welcome back to Joy Recovery Radio, where we're dedicated to helping couples find healing and hope after sexual infidelity and betrayal trauma. We share real stories, practical strategies, and deep insights to support you on both sides of this difficult journey. We truly believe this message can change lives, and you can help us reach more people by engaging with our content. Wherever you listen, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube, please hit that follow or subscribe button. A quick like and a 5-star review also goes a long way, helping others discover our community when they need it most. Let's dive into today's episode.
Welcome back to Joy Recovery Radio. Glad you're with us today, and I'm glad that my wife is with me today.
I'm glad to be here.
We haven't cast a pod together in a while.
It's been a while, but I'm still here. I'm just not behind the microphone. You do such a good job at that.
Well, thank you.
I can
Thank
be
you.
on the other side of the microphone,
Well,
just giving you encouragement, cheers, and the betrayed partner perspective.
you are very involved in all of the creation of the content, even if you're not involved in the recording. But I'm glad you're here today by my side to record this because this is a big topic. We're talking about transparency.
Huge topic.
We have, in the spirit of transparency, something to
Mhm.
share about our family, an update.
We do.
At the time of this recording, roughly 3 days ago, we had our newest grandson born.
Grandson number 4.
Number 4, all boys, no
No
granddaughters.
girls.
I know you want a granddaughter.
So bad.
Oliver Luke is his name. He's healthy. Mama's healthy. We're so glad that he is part of our family and has entered our world. So our hearts are full of joy today as we welcome him.
Yes, they are.
We are going to talk about transparency today. This is a topic that is really central to recovery and especially rebuilding a relationship after betrayal. And we're going to talk about the difference between truth and transparency. A lot of time those words are used synonymously, but we don't see them as the same thing. In fact, when you get those two concepts confused and you think they're the same thing, it can cause a lot of issues in your relationship.
Exactly. When you think about transparency should be married to the word vulnerability. So throughout this podcast, whenever I say transparency or Rory says transparency, just assume that vulnerability is connected to that word. So truth and transparency and vulnerability sound similar, but they serve totally different purposes. Truth tends to be reactive. It's sometimes the bare minimum. It's when you answer a question honestly, but only if it's asked the right way. So we call that like wordsmithing. It's emotionally protective. Example, I'll tell you as much as I think you can handle, or I'll tell you as much as you ask, but nothing more. That's truth.
Yeah, it's kind of along the lines of the mantra of ask me no questions and I'll tell you no lies. It's not transparent. So transparency, on the other hand, is proactive. It's not reactive. It's not bare minimum. It is thorough, it is complete, and it's coming from a place of love. Transparency is, I'm going to share openly with you about what's going on before you have to ask. Yeah. A very simple definition of transparency could just be this. It is taking what is happening internally and externalizing it with my partner. I'm bringing it into the light before shame convinces me to keep it hidden. Transparency means I am no longer going to sit on any more secrets with my partner.
So what we're going to do is we're actually going to do a simulation. So you all can hear what a conversation might sound like from a truth perspective. And then we'll come back and we'll do the same conversation from a transparency perspective. Here's the narrative. I'm just coming home from work and there's something that Roy needs to talk to me about. And the first scenario, you're going to see that I'm going to need to pull information from him instead of him just giving it to me. I can sense that there's something wrong based on his body language, but he's not going to readily provide that information to me. Ready?
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1. Hey! Oh my gosh, I'm so glad to be home. It has been a day. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Okay. That response tells me something's off. What's going on? Are you okay?
Yeah, everything's fine. I'm okay.
Everything is not fine. What is it? There's something you're not telling me.
Yeah, there was something that happened today.
Okay.
So earlier today, I was talking to a brother in recovery. He recently relapsed, and he went into details that were too graphic, and I stopped him, but it wasn't in time. It was triggering for me. It created an image in my mind, an image I did not want. I did not welcome it. It was very distressing for me.
Why wouldn't you just tell me that? Why did I need to pull it out of you? I know you. I know when something is off. And it's really difficult when I feel like I have to fish it out of you. Okay. Cut. That's a wrap. So that is a simulation of just being truthful. For some partners, we would want to know what those graphic details were. But for the sake of the audience and to prevent any triggers, I'm not going to probe him for that information.
So it could be argued that I told the truth in this scenario, but it was reactive. It's because you had to dig, you had to prompt, you had to push. And I imagine it left you still wondering, well, what else is there that I haven't probed?
Exactly. You were honest, but only after being pressed.
Right. So let's do the transparency version of this.
Okay. So 3, 2, 1, action. I am so glad to be home. It's been such a long day.
Hey, Jacqueline, can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah. What's going on?
Yeah, so something happened today that I wanted to talk to you about it. Is this a good time? How's your headspace?
I'm in a good headspace.
Okay.
Let's talk.
So I didn't want to sit on this. I wanted to talk to you about it when you're ready. Earlier today, I talked to a brother in recovery, and recently he relapsed. And as he was sharing with me, he went into details that were too graphic. And I stopped him, but it was too late. And it had already triggered me. It created an image that I did not want, that was unwelcome and very distressing. I was able to quickly pivot, pray, get recentered and present with him, and the image dissipated. But I wanted to let you know that, and I wanted to let you know that going forward, anytime I talk to any of my brothers in recovery, I'll reiterate to them to refrain from sharing any graphic details like that, so that does not happen again.
Ugh, I hate that that happened, but I appreciate you telling me that. I'm sure it wasn't easy. How are you feeling right now? I know it was probably very difficult.
I'm feeling a lot better. I was dreading telling you, but I wanted to talk about it as soon as you were ready.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being transparent and vulnerable. And thank you for checking in on my headspace before we had this conversation. I appreciate that. And cut.
So that's the end of the simulation, and I hope you see the difference. This time I did not wait for her to probe or dig, fish, ask, prompt. I noticed something inside of me that I wanted to hide. That is usually an indication that I need to bring it into the light. That's transparency.
And for me, that's what builds trust. It's not about you never feeling tempted or shamed. It's about me knowing I can trust you to bring it to me instead of me having to drag it out. That's what safety feels like. If you're going to do truth versus transparency, one good thing to recognize is what her headspace is. Ask her, how's your headspace? She might not be ready for a transparent conversation, and you need to respect those boundaries.
So we need to give a disclaimer here because some guys, they'll jump on the bandwagon of transparency and in their motivation to really go all in. They don't have a conversation with their partners to reach a relationship agreement on what do they want to know, because every partner is different. So before you dive into transparency, you need to have a conversation about transparency and understand from her what level of transparency does she want. What are the things that she wants you to come with her about? And what are the things that she wants you to practice transparency with healthy brothers about? But she doesn't want to receive that.
Please talk to her before you just show up and dump, because what she wants to hear can change. Whenever you set boundaries, it's a living agreement. It's fluid document. As trust grows or boundaries shift, you can revisit the boundary, the guidelines that you set together. The goal isn't to overshare or flood each other. It's to build connection through mutual understanding and respect. So if your partner has requested no graphic details, you need to honor that.
At joy-recovery.com, we offer personalized recovery coaching to help you move from pain to purpose. We also provide supportive groups where you can connect with others who truly understand. So, whether you're battling addiction, healing from betrayal, or rebuilding a brand new relationship, you're not alone. We can help. Go to joy-recovery.com today.
So let's talk now about the results of transparency. What can I expect to possibly see as an outcome if I start being transparent? The two big potential results are trust and emotional intimacy. Let's talk about trust first. A lot of my coaching clients, the men that I work with, will come into the coaching process with one of their goals being, how can I make her trust me again? Well, you can't make anyone do anything, but you can begin to live in a way that is trustworthy. And here's a very simple formula for this. 3 elements: time plus transparency plus consistency. When someone has been betrayed, anything that is unknown, any kind of mystery, feels unsafe. So the more they know, the safer they feel. Every time we are proactive with our transparency, what we're saying to her is, you don't have to wonder about what's in the dark. I am going to bring it into the light myself.
And that leads to predictability, which equals safety. When someone is transparent and vulnerable, sharing thoughts, feelings, and even small internal shifts, they become predictable again. Predictability doesn't mean it's boring. It's safe. And safety is the foundation of trust.
So in our coupleship, every time I share with you what's happening inside of me, I am showing you that there is congruence between my inner world and my external behavior. And when that is repeated over time, it's consistent, that can help you relax because you're no longer feeling like you need to be in detective mode, trying to discover everything that's unknown about me.
Transparency and vulnerability reverses the power dynamic of betrayal. For example, when betrayal happens, the betrayed partner loses power. They were living in a false reality, fragmented reality. When the betrayer becomes transparent and vulnerable, they voluntarily give that power back. They surrender secrecy. They invite their partner into truth, and they stop controlling the narrative. We have said this 1,000 times. Your partner, the betrayed partner, is the mirror to your recovery. If she's doing well, there's safety established. If she's dysregulated and she's not doing well, chances are there's a lack in vulnerability and transparency.
I know in our relationship, every time that I choose to be transparent with you, I am basically handing control of truth back to you. I'm surrendering that. And that surrender is the thing that makes me trustworthy in your eyes again. So when it comes to transparency, it's giving you evidence that there is some change going on inside of me. Anybody can tell the truth when they're cornered or when they're under pressure. But when you are proactive with your transparency, what you're basically saying is, I am being honest with you, not because I'm forced to, but because I want to live in integrity.
Being transparent is not easy. It can be very difficult and scary. However, over time, the vulnerability and the transparency pattern builds confidence. There's no more minimizing, no more hiding, no more justifying, just steady, proactive ownership. And that's how betrayed partners feel safe. And that's how the partners learn the change is real and it's not performative.
You can think of transparency as a form of empathy that's in action. It's not just confession, it's compassion. It's me saying, I know that I have caused you to live in uncertainty, and I am no longer going to add to that uncertainty.
I love that. It moves from I'm doing this to avoid consequences to I'm doing this because I love you. Trust doesn't return in one big moment of forgiveness. I know the betrayers would love that, but that's not the reality. Trust comes back by one transparent conversation at a time.
So the first thing that transparency could result in is trust. The second thing is emotional intimacy. We got to tell you, transparency is sometimes not pretty. If you're going to practice transparency, there's going to be moments where there's conflict.
Absolutely.
There can be disappointment. There can be downright pain. But real emotional intimacy requires being known. It's into me, see. So I want to be known by you. I don't want to just be liked by you. For years in my addiction, I tried to be liked by everybody. What that involved was hiding different parts of me that I was afraid would be rejected. The antidote to that is transparency. It's me saying, especially to you, that I am willing to let you see me, good, bad, ugly, even the parts of me that in the past I would have hidden.
You made a really good point. Transparency, vulnerability, it's not always pretty. And so one caveat I would love to make is don't let the message get lost because your delivery is poor. When you are being transparent and vulnerable, be mindful of how you are presenting the truth. It will impact how she receives it. Because transparency will start to create a shared reality. Before recovery, We lived in two worlds, one real and one fabricated. Transparency reunites us in a shared truth and one world. The truth might not always be pleasant, but it's real. And couples can handle pain. They can get through it together. But what couples can't have and they can't handle is lies, confusion, shifts of power. We can survive pain if we're facing it together. What destroys intimacy isn't pain, it's secrecy, lack of vulnerability.
Is transparency always comfortable?
Heck no.
No, but it is connecting. The way we got into this mess was by keeping secrets and only showing part of who I am. The way out of this mess is by learning to show more and more without being prompted by you. So we've talked about some of the possible benefits of transparency. Let's talk about the tools. How do we become more transparent? One way we can grow in transparency is daily check-ins. Daily check-ins are an invitation to emotional intimacy. It's an opportunity to practice transparency. It's where I can share with my partner every day, here's what's going on inside of me, and I want to share that with you. We have a whole podcast episode on our guidance on check-ins, so we'll just refer you to that. But that's the first tool. What's another tool?
So maybe for couples who aren't at a point where they can check in with each other, the betrayers can use a journal prompt. Ask yourself, what am I tempted to hide? What emotion am I not naming? There's a great app called How We Feel, where couples can link emotions to each other. So at any given time, you can see what your partner is feeling. Don't judge the content. Your only goal is to notice and name. You can't heal what you won't name.
Another tool to become more transparent is what we're going to call spiritual integration. And what we mean by that is transparency is not just an emotional skill, it's a spiritual practice. Every time we are transparent and we tell the truth, we are reflecting the character of God, who is always honest and a truth teller. So as we grow closer in our connection with Him, we're going to become more like Him. And that is going to include becoming more trustworthy, where our words are true, they are reliable, and our lives are beginning to mirror God's character more and more. So the closer we get to God, the more honest and full of integrity we're going to be.
And when you start this process, you're going to mess up. We all do. Practice repair rituals. For instance, when you catch yourself minimizing or withholding, admit it quickly. Don't stall. Say, I just noticed I wasn't being authentic. I wasn't being vulnerable. I wasn't being transparent. And I want to make it right now. Some couples have a 24-hour rule. When they notice or they've done self-reflecting for the day, they realize I wasn't vulnerable. I wasn't transparent. I need to make my wrongs right. So within 24 hours, they go back to the betrayed partner and they admit their wrongs and make an amends for it. That kind of repair builds trust faster than pretending that you've never stumbled.
As we close, remember this. Truth and transparency are not the same. Truth says, well, I will answer if you ask right. But transparency says, I'm going to tell you before you have to ask.
Truth might stop the bleeding, but transparency begins the healing. There has to be transparency and there has to be vulnerability, because it's transparency that rebuilds trust, and restores emotional intimacy.
So wherever you are in your recovery journey, remember, transparency is not just about information. It's actually an invitation. It's you saying to your partner, I am inviting you into my world. And that's where real healing begins.
Everyone, thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep walking in the light, one honest and truthful, transparent, vulnerable conversation at a time.
Choose joy.
That wraps up another episode of Joy Recovery Radio. We hope our conversation today brought you clarity, comfort, or a new perspective on your journey. Remember, healing is possible and you don't have to walk this path alone. To learn more about how we can support you, visit us at joy-recovery.com. There, you'll find information about our individual and couples coaching practice designed to provide tailored support for both addicts and betrayed partners. You can also explore our various online groups, offering safe and confidential spaces for connection, shared experience, and growth. Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, choose joy.